Member Sahu for his persuasion to speak to a crowd on a subject I am always scared to touch because I'm dealing with joint secretaries to the Government of India. My colleagues in the Commission told me that you are the most crucial people for government functioning. While it is definitely an honor to be here, but it's also a little worrying. And I find that in responses to Ajay, and of course Ajay is always very sweeping, that is part of his style, and I can understand how it must be. The reason why I'm also slightly worried is I did put in yeah, that's the one, huh? I made some slides so that it's quicker and easier for me to follow the whole sequence that takes place. Let me come there, it'll be easier for me. And I have to thank the Commission, and I have to thank my former chairman. Dr. Dhanendra Kumar is here, and I must say I did learn a lot. Now, between my time in the Commission and now, two things happened. One is I had the advantage of extremely intelligent colleagues in the Commission, and they gave me a different perspective because they came from the government. I did come from a regulatory commission, but was always what is known as a wild horse or a wild bet, because I came from academia and I was an economist and not very reverential of a lot of things. So when they gave me their perspective, because there's so much pressure to look at every case, I didn't have the time to think. I've had 2 years now. So I've been sort of thinking and looking at what is happening and what is there. So when Member Sahu said speak on public procurement and other anti-competitive conduct, look at it. It's a topic that is a wide canvas. I mean, he's just given me one of those balls that say in cricket where I can hit on anything and any way, but yet try to control by saying stay within public procurement. And therefore, the topic, while it encapsulates a very wide and vast canvas, the emphasis on public procurement, you will notice, draws attention to coverage of the Act for public sector enterprises, for departmental and non-departmental enterprises, public and state institutions. Earlier, when I was working in an institute called the Institute of Public Enterprise, I had the privilege of working a lot on privatization. Yes, it was public enterprise working on privatization with two very senior IAS officers. So my understanding of the public sector enterprises was not from the viewpoint of an insider, but looking at it from outside, and one could understand what was happening. Today's lecture would be looking at the significance and importance of competition. We all know, and Ajay has been stating it, that competitive pricing is necessary, competitive pricing for goods and services. It provides for quality improvement. It also allows for technological development. But it is also important to understand what is competition, what does competition, how does it emerge. We look at maximization of consumer welfare by ensuring competition through implementation of the Act. So this Act, please remember, is very different from the MRTP. The MRTP was very structuralist. You know, it started off by saying 50 crores, and anything above beyond 50 crores should be controlled because we were bothered about concentration of economic power. 50 crores is not even worth a bribe, I think, nowadays. So the whole expansion that has taken place with the Competition Act was to look at markets, was to look at how markets would function. Look at the next thing that becomes important. You know, we look at market structures that raise alarm bells for the Competition Commission, that come under the purview of the Act. So we look at structures that can raise prices and lower quantities because these are not part of the competitive process. They affect the welfare of a consumer. So anything that can raise prices or lower quantities. Now, there is a